students, let's start discussing Helioscope and taking one more step towards advancement of learning using Helioscope. Here, let's start. I have designed one project here just right now, and I will share the data. For example, I just design this location. I just take the location of took the location of Utexla and just take random two locations, for example here, and then I generate the summary of different reports. You can see here the report, for example, two locations I have decided, and then due to the shading area, some solar panels are skipped and one hurdle and two trees due to the shading of these trees and due to this hurdle. So and due to the shading, some solar panels you can see here are skipped, and also there is 3 meter from this line, from this line 3 meters spacing, no solar panel is installed. So these are the different criteria you can learn, and the report also shows some different parameters, annual kilowatt hour units of energy, how many units for every month will generate, and the different uh, view of this report also mentioned here. So similarly, the other report you can see here, it also shows like that. And if we see the next report, so you can see here the different parameters. Performance ratio is very less because I have designed it randomly, but you can design by yourself and take very careful considerations. And here you can see like that, you know, different parameters. And similarly, another report which is here, and these kind of reports I will show you how to generate. Here the universe Tesla, this location, and all these reports. So let's start new project, for example here. So I will show the new project, for example, for lab 3, lab project 3. Address, for example, I will take the random location, for example this location, Utexla location, default residential, and here I can say this is Utexla buildings. Create new project. So here it is created, so let's click at new design, create the new design, and then I will come here. So here you can see that from Google you can near map, but for near map maybe you need the less sensitive version, so we can only use this one. We have limited provisions. So let's start again like that. So here you can for example we decide two areas like that, these two areas, for example. So new, here let's start this one is this 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 and this, for example this one. And the you can see here that and here you can, for example, any solar panel you can decide. For example here you can write any company, for example this one. So I decide this one. So it will, for example, height it will be 5 meter. If it is 5 meter, you can see there is a shadow, and if it's 3 meter, shadow is less. 3 meter height of this, for example 2 meter, so it will be different. 1 meter, 21 meter, or 1 meter, for example height. And similarly for landscape, or you can portrait and landscape, different size you can. This is portrait and landscape. In landscape you can see how many maximum utilization of space we actually our target. So in that case you can decide whether landscape is feasible or, and also the different locations. For example, this one, this. So the arrangement you can see here. For example, here you can see here add multiple modules in the grid arrangement. For example, here I want to let's control zoom in. For example, I want to add one manually single uh, panel. So for example, here I want to, so you can see one additional panel, solar panel is installed here, but for that, because space was less, so two other modules are skipped like that. So in this way, and also for example, select the and move the modules within the design. For example, I will select, and I want to select these two modules, and I want to move like in this way, so it will move upward. So in this way you can and also fixed shield, for example this is fixed or flush, you can decide which one is feasible. And similarly, time of the day you can take, for example 10 to 20 is okay. So, and you can like this yourself. And similarly, for example, we want to insert, we want to use another area. For example, this area we also want to use for example, save and exit. Let's start again. Here, click here. So this location we have decided. Another, for example, I want to install another panel. For example, here. For example, here. So you can also decide which solar panel, solar modules you want to use for this. For example, this one 200 watt, and for example, this one is flush mounting. That was is fixed. So meter height, for example, it is 2 meter. That was 1 meter. And similarly, for example, I want to manually add a single module, for example, here. So it will be, and also I want to change location of these modules, for example, like that. So it can be changed. And then uh, it's okay. Uh, now, let's keep out. For example, I want to see, here is the obstacle, trees or hurdles are there. So first of all, I hide array. When I hide array, you can see here, this is the hurdles. Here, 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 here. This one was the hurdle. So I will change, for example, setback is 1 meter or zero point 0.2 meter, for example, 0.2 meter, and height also 0.2, for example, height, and setback is this. And similarly here you can see, here is the tree. So we can select the tree here, for example, here. So you can see here is the tree. So in this way you can decide the tree. And alt select for select, and then select, and here is tree, and I want to copy this tree actually. from shift and just scroll, shift and hold shift and just drag your mouse, left mouse click, and uh, just change. You can change the position like that in this way. So you can see if you change solar arrays, you can see here that. तो यहाँ जो है अगर आप देखें तो ये ट्री है, इसको आप ऊपर नीचे फॉर एग्जांपल हेयर है, इसको पकड़ के you can move in this way like that. And if you want to copy this tree, for example, this is I want to copy, yes, alt, just hold the alt button and just click on this and drag, it will be copied. And now you can change the location. For example, this tree is height is different, and also you can change the height from here. For example, its radius is 3, for example, and its height is 15, for example, and this height is different, and also you can change like this one. Okay, so yes, now shift again, you can hold and like that you can change position. And next is for example, keep out, and then there is an electrical. So for the electrical, you can decide which inverter you want to use. Inverter, for example, which inverter you want to use. So an inverter which is feasible according to your configuration, you can design. And also for DC system, so you can also set the manually sources, string size. You can also, or otherwise it will automatically decide according to the temperature. तो ये दोनों केस पॉसिबल है. और ये करने के बाद कॉन्फ़िगर ट्रांसफार्मर अगर आप करना चाहें तो you can configure the transformer and you can change the voltage, input and output voltage of the transformer. Will add transformer to match PCC voltage. So non-specified है, or you can say 240 delta like that. So next is advanced, and then you can, for example, here you can see that for shift, hold shift, and then you can see here that it will look like that. And now for example, advanced shading analysis. For example, here you can shading and calculate shading. So if we calculate shading, you can see here that there is a shading here, all. And if you calculate shading of this panel, what will be the situation? Now this shading, for example, there is a shade loss is 1.2, so it's very less. So you can change, for example, this shading loss should be less than 1. So when it will be less than 1, so all the panels which creating the loss more than 1, that will be removed. So these are removed. So yes, and then you can, for example, monthly values, you can also see monthly values. Shading is very less, maximum output you are taking from solar. So then calculate shading. And similarly, for example, you want to remove these shadings. For example, you want to remove this panel. These are the shaded panels. For example, this creating more shade. So manually you can also delete the panels. For example, here you can click so here, for example, shading here, and calculate shading. Yes, right click. The mouse on the mouse, you will just click, not left click, which is normal. Right click, just clicking on the mouse. Right click, you can remove randomly any panels which you want that they are creating more shading. So in this way, you can do like that, and from holding shift and then again in this way, you can see that. For example, I want to change the height of this location. For example, the height is more. And yes, one thing more. For example, shift again, shift hold like that here. For example, I want to set back, for example, from here to here, and I want to set, for example, 3 meters from this. I don't want solar panels. So here you can see no solar panel will be installed. So in this way, you can this one. For example, if keep out from shade, yani I want to avoid shade, I want to install those panels which also influence shade. So for example, here you can see this panel is installed. If I keep out, those panels will be removed. These panels which are influenced by shading, so they will be removed like that. So in this way, you can create the copy, save and exit, for example, here. So here you can export the CAD file, for example, CAD file, and you can export. CAD file is actually AutoCAD, I think so. The file, for example, this one actually, I will save here. See, it was actually this file, this .dxf, and maybe it is a CAD file. Maybe it will be open in CAD, but I don't have CAD. You can install the CAD and you can open this file .dxf. You can see which CAD the software can open this file. So it will show you the, and this is location where this location and this location we have decided. So this image is inside this file, and also you can, for example, single line diagram here. So you can download the single line diagram and one this single line diagram is DXF file, and layout image. You can also download like that. These are different inverters which we need. So in this way, you can decide different locations and just design one project on Helioscope and attach it in the soft report of your manual and bring it in next lab. You can save this image, for example, here. This is the image, and if you open this, so you can see here that it is actually this image. Not, oh yeah, it's already opened. It's already opened, and you can see here that just close this window, and let's the single and diagram, and next again these conditions, different conditions you can set. For example, you want to set the conditions, So different conditions you can adjust here. So one by one you can try different conditions, and then shading. We already set the shading analysis there, and then only reports. So simulate here. So it will initiate, simulate, and create the reports. So here you can kilowatt per this one. Click here, and you can view the shade report, for example. So here is the shade report, for example, this one shade, and it is showing and all the parameters, southeastern angle and everything. January, February, for whole month, year of whole month, every month of the year, it is showing different kilowatts, how much percentage, and units of energy. For example, in month 12,232 units of energy can be generated with the help of this design. So similarly, this is the report. You can see here showing the report at different side views, southeastern angle and southwestern. Okay, and you can just save in as PDF. For example, here if you will click, it will create the PDF. So this one is the PDF. So you can create like that. Okay, so this is okay. It is like that. You will generate the PDF. And similarly, you can take different parameters. For example, you can comment on this in the reports. You can write different what is mean this, what is this, how much value of field segment kilowatt. So you can just write the report by seeing the results on this in this PDF file. And similarly, performance ratio, for example, 75.2%. So it is okay, I think. So between 75 to 85 is okay. And view shared report also. And similarly, you can see energy to grid and the total collected irradiance also given, and the inverters, 120 inverters, one transformer is used, and similarly copper wire, 10 AWG copper wire, how much length, 234, I think so, 234 strings, and you can see here AWG, the length of is this one. And similarly AC home runs, the wire is 8 AWG, 120 wires, and the length is one like that. So here you can see this report, and you can just like download this report, and okay. And similarly this one, okay. And similarly, for example, you want to energy, so 200 megawatt hour is the total energy generated by using this 200 megawatt hour annual production of energy. It is actually how many units? Mega kilo mean 200 multiplied by 1000, so 2 lakh 200,000 units of energy are produced with the help of this design, and this is total annual units which we have produced. Performance ratio, this one is okay. Module DC nameplate is 138 kilowatt module, and total units in month for every month is given. You can see in May it's maximum units we have produced, and the sources of system loss, how much losses due to shading, 1.6%, and maximum is the temperature also losses, irradiance. So these are different issues of the losses you can see here, and similarly And you can see here that there is a inverter, these different parameters. Okay, and then you can see, so in this way you can create different reports. So okay, so now this was this Utexla lab project 3, this one we were designing, this one. So if I click here, single line diagram, and there was another option you can find here that to download the single line diagram. So in this way, different parameters can be adjusted, and the design of any solar system for any location can be designed with the help of this software. Here, yes, SLD is here. So just click here. So you will get the SLD for this project. You can save this image also. This is SLD, single line diagram, single line diagram. So again map. This SLD 10 WAG 10 2 inverters. This is 20 pairs breakers. SLD2 for example, and if I will select for example this one, if I select this one, what should be, I think so these two, this one and this one, these two locations, to these two locations, and then design the single line diagram. So in this way, different parameters can be adjusted, and fixed mount or flush mount or everything. So now you can generate the report like that, what I have done in front of you. You can generate the report and you can bring it in short form, and you can with the lab manual of Index Lab, inshallah.